Hello, my name is Emma and I own the company Emma Bunting. Ordinarily we make fabric bunting, but under the circumstances at the moment with COVID-19 we are turning our skills to making face masks and drawstring bags for NHS scrubs. These are really easy to make at home, so if you just follow the next how-to video on for a face mask, we'll show you how to do it. First of all, you need to get your template. Ours is just made from the back of a cereal packet. It's 23 centimetres long on the longest edge and 15 centimetres on the shortest. You'll need a pen and a ruler for measuring out your pleats later on if you want to do it perfectly. You'll also need a good pair of fabric scissors for cutting out your cotton. Choose your cotton. It can be the same on both sides, but we've actually gone for a different one. So red and white on one side and orange and white on the other side. Then get your elastic or your ties together. We've decided for this one to do sets of 4 ties, but it's up to you what you choose. You also need basic equipment of sewing machine, sewing threads and a box of pins. So we have the template here. As I said, it was the back of a cereal packet. We're going to place it on the wrong side of the fabric. I'm going to do the orange and white first. Just press firmly down and take your marker pen and just draw all the way around. Now, if you're making lots of masks, you can just repeat it and carry on. But I'm just doing one for now. So we're going to take our fabric scissors and we're going to just cut along the line. There we go. We'll put that to one side. And there we have our first piece, and we do exactly the same for the other piece of fabric. Once you've cut out your 2 pieces, you need to then press them with a hot iron so we get a lovely finish on our 2 pieces of fabric. Then we're going to take our herringbone tape and we're going to cut 4 lengths of tape, and each one is approximately 40 centimeters long. So once you have pressed both your pieces of fabric, I've actually used 2 separate ones. You don't have to, you could use the same. If you had 2 separate ones, you could always see there's a front and a back if necessary. But what we're literally going to do is put right sides together and stitch around the edges. That's as simple as it's going to be. We need to put the ties in, so you can either use elastic or you can use tapes. Now I'm just using this webbing tape here, which is just because I had it in the house for no other reason. I'll just get that loose hair off. For no other reason than that. I have heard that elastic is actually hurting people's ears when they're wrapping it around them, so maybe tapes is going to be better. But all we're going to do is put those on those sides and then do the same for the other 2 in here. So we'll literally just fold that out of the way, and then we're going to put one of this. I mean, it's okay to just guess approximate where they are. They don't have to be precise. But if you're making quite a few of them, you'll get used to the sizes. But we're going to put them just at there, like so here. Now, because there's so many of these central bits all the ties together, it'll be easier to just pin them so they're not going to get all mixed up. So one thing about pinning, just make sure that some people have a habit of putting the pins in their mouth. So we just have to be very careful not to be doing any of that. So have your pin box ready, and we're just going to literally pin these here. So what you'll notice here is I've pinned all the way around the edges, and it's quite thick in the middle. And that's because the ties are inside. So what you want to do is just make sure you pinned all the way around the edges so the ties are inside. Now, I might just sew by sight because I'm used to sewing, but what if we need to have a top and a bottom? It doesn't really matter which is the top and the bottom, but just on the bottom bit, we're going to leave a little bit of a gap and not stitch this edge in order for us to turn it inside out when we finish. So if you're not the best at sewing and you want to measure, you can just measure approximately 7 centimeters in on each side and just give a little bit of a mark there. So we'll measure 7 centimeters on each side. We'll give us a little bit of a mark there. And I tend to give a wider distance, so you have a bigger gap, and that's just so it's easier to turn. We're going to go around all the edges later on anyway, so it doesn't really matter how big the gap is, but don't make your life more difficult than it needs to be. Don't make that gap too small and you're faffing on trying to get the whole of the mask inside out through a tiny gap. Okay, so that's basically what the package will look like, and then we're good to sew, and we're literally going to sew just all the way around the edges here, all the way around the edges here, all the way back up, straight sewing, and to here, and leaving this gap open. We'll do a quick back stitch, a couple of stitches back stitch forward and back to start and finish, and that will keep that edge sealed, and that's all you need to do. Okay, so all we've done here, we've put the foot down, we've got the needle in, we're going to do a forward and a back stitch just to lock it in place. Now I haven't actually drawn lines to make a marking of where I'm going to sew. I'm literally going to just follow my straight edge of my fabric, and I've got my half foot, so I'll keep the right hand side of the foot following the edge of the fabric. So we use a template at the beginning to cut the fabric, so I know that the fabric has straight edges, so I'm just going to follow this all the way around. So here we go. So here we've got the piece finished. I've stitched all the way around the edges, and I've left quite a big gap here in the fabric. So I'm literally going to just use that to turn this inside out. And I've got my ties there. And each corner, just poke it out with your fingers. Now I am going to get something pointy. Actually, you can just use anything. I wouldn't use scissors. This might not be the best pen to do it with, but you just want to get something a little bit sharper or blunter than scissors. Just point the corners out. A pencil actually would be better if I had a pencil to hand, which I just don't. But there you go. So here we go. This is the beginnings of our mask, and this is your open bit. What I'm going to do now is just press with my iron all the way, and actually, if you can see, if you pull that there, you see this automatically, I'm pulling it quite taut, but this automatically lines up flat like that. So I'm literally going to press it with my fingers now, and then when I come to do the pressing with the iron, it will just be automatic. So here you go, this is the one side, and then this is our other side. And actually it looks quite nice with the red. So I'm going to press it now so it's a really good finish. So here's the mask, which I've already sort of practiced putting lines in. So I just want to show you, we're basically going to just concertina it up and put 2 little pleats in our mask. And then we're going to stitch around the edges to fix it in place. And you can either get your ruler and measure it, exactly, or you can just guess and just straighten it up as best you can. And one little trick, I use this. This is just one of the unpickers that we use all the time. And actually, if you just push this in your fabric, it will twist down for you and actually get the pleats done for you. It's quite a neat tool. Very simple. And you can see on the side here, you've got your double thickness there. Now what you could do is actually press that before you pin it to just give it a little bit of strength, but just press with your hands or your fingers. And then just get your pins here. Again, don't forget, don't put them anywhere near your mouth, which I know is a big habit of some people. Just pin. If you pin away from the edge, it's a little bit easier because there's so much fabric, it's just going to buckle. So just don't pin too much near the edge. And then we're going to pin the other side. like so. It's a little bit thick because obviously it's 4 bits of fabric. And the final pin on this side. So there you have it. You have your mask. We're just going to show you the back of it. And we're ready now to actually sew all the way around the edges. We're going to do twice all the way around just to make sure it's really, really fixed and solid. So here's our finished face mask. You can see we've stitched all the way around the edge. I've gone in red cotton just so it matches the ties. And at this end both sides I've actually done double stitching because this is the thick side. And then on the reverse, or the back to front, we've got the red and white version. Now it doesn't really matter which way you wear it, and there's no difference top or bottom, so whichever you want, whichever side you want, you can choose.